everyone, welcome back to new series of Python. In today's video, we will be discussing about the string formatting. String formatting is also known as string interpolation. So before moving on to the topic, we just need to know what is an interpolation. Interpolation is a process of substituting the values of the variables into the placeholders in a string. Let's say an example. You have a template for saying hello to a person like hello, name of the person, nice to meet you. And you would like to replace the placeholders for the name of the person with an actual name. So string formatting can be done in various ways such as percentage formatting, string format function, or using of the f strings. So let's go with the first method, that is the percentage formatting, which is one of the oldest techniques used to insert an object into a string. So let's consider two strings, and here you can see the value string Cybrosys is pointing to the variable company, and city is pointing to the variable, calicut is pointing to the variable city. Now, let's see how can we get the result in the console by using the print function. So here I'll be providing the statement like company name is. So here we know company name is Cybrosys, that is the value which is pointing to the variable Cybrosys. So what if I just give company itself over here? I may not be getting the proper result as that I want. So instead of this issue, in order to avoid this issue, we can just use the string formatting. So here we know we are just managing with the percentage formatting. So we can use percentage s. So here we are just replacing the placeholder and we just need to now assign the value into this section. So here again you can just use percentage company. So what Python does is that Python will take the value of Cybrosys and will give it over here. Now let's run this file, and here you can see that now the result has got like my company name is Cybrosys. Now we can also manage string formatting for multiple values. So here let's provide the statement like multiple values are allowed in string formatting. So let's consider these two variables which has got different strings such as Cybrosys and calicut respectively. And I just need to pass multiple values and using the string formatting. So you can just use a print function, and here you can see that I'm going to provide this statement like my company name is, and I'll be using percentage yes, and it's located at calicut. So again use the percentage yes, and as we have multiple values over here, use a percentage symbol, use a round bracket, and provide the variable name over here, which is company, and separate it with comma and provide the other variable name. And later on, you can just run the file, and here you can see that my company name is Cybrosys and it's located at calicut. Now, let's see how can we use the string format function to manage with the string formatting. Here, in this case, the placeholders are replaced by the curly braces, okay? And we can just consider an example. So let's consider the same values or same variables over here. So let me just copy this, and let's place it over here. And here we're gonna just manage the placeholders by replacing the curly braces. So let's move on to the function. So you can just use a print function, and here you can say that my company name is. So instead of the name is Cybrosys value, you can use the curly braces. So the placeholder is just replaced by the curly braces, and you can just use the format over here. So here you can find the format. So provide the string then dot format function. So here you can put a dot, then use the format, and we can just pass the arguments over here. So I just want to get the company over here. So if you have multiple values, you can also give that. So I just need to give multiple values over here, and it's located at, then again replace it with the curly braces. Now separate this with comma and provide the other value. So we have passed the arguments and we can just print this. So here you can see my company is Cybrosys and it's located at Calicut. So we have got the result by using the string format function, which means the placeholders are replaced by curly braces in this technique. Now let's consider the other example. So in this case, we can also refer a variable through the indexing. So that is possible. So we can say that referring variables through indexing is possible in case of the string formats. So here you can consider the company and city over here. Now let's use a print function to get result. So use the print function, and here you can provide company name is, and use the bracket over here, and you can say that I'll be providing the index, which is 0, and located at Calicut. So it's located at Calicut. So the value Calicut comes or points to city. So that will be in the index of 1. So you can provide the index over there. Later on, you can just use the syntax over here, dot format, and pass the variables over here, company and city. So let's run the file, and here you can see the result, that is company name is Cybrosys and located at Calicut. Now let's change the indexing over here. Let's say company name is 1 and I just need to change the index over here, and let's run the file, and still we will get the result. So whenever we just use the indexing, here you can see currently as passing of the index, the result will be taken. So as I just pass 1 over here, you can see the value in 1. So the value in 1 is Calicut, that will be taken over here, and the value in company is Cybrosys, as I just passed, located it as the indexing over here as 0. You can see located at Cybrosys is reflected over here. Okay. Now let's move on to the other way in which we can just use the string formatting. Like we can just, to improve the readability, we can also use the keywords. So we can see that to improve the readability, use keywords are used. So you can consider the same example itself, or let's consider the same example over here. So let's say, let's make a slight change over here in the variable name. Let's say C, capital C, and let the other one be C1. Okay. So into C, the value Cybrosys is pointing, and into C1, Calicut is pointing. Now let's see how we can just improve the readability using the keywords. Use the print function over here, and here you can provide like the statement company is, and let's use the curly phrases over here, and later on located at somewhere, right? It's located at somewhere. But here we have to use the keywords for improving the readability. By using the same format function, we can just change or make slight change over here. So let me say that come is equal to C. So into this keyword, we will be assigning the value, and you can just separate this with a comma, and let's say sit is equal to, like, come is equal to capital C and sit is equal to C1. I'll be assigning the value of C1 into sit and the value of C into come. Now what we have to do is we have to pass this keyword over here. So company, come, and it's located at sit, right? C1 is actually assigned to sit. And now let's run the file, and here you can see that the result is company name is Cybrosys and located at calicut. Now let's see how the string formatting is used in case of floats, binary, and integers. So let's consider an example. Let's say print, I have scored the mark. So the mark would be represented in float. So you can just use the F symbol to represent the float, and the proper format is using of the colon. That is the correct syntax. And afterwards, you can just use the format function over here. So put a dot and pass the format, and into this we can just pass the mark. So here you can see 55.66 is the answer. And here you can complete the statement like percentage of mark in English. So the result will be I have scored 55.66% of mark in English. So let's run this, and here you can see that. Now let's see how can we just provide an integer value, and let's find the other results or other way by which we can just use this. So let me copy the same example over here, and into the float I'll be passing the integer value. So let's see whether we can just pass the integer value into a float. So here you can see we can just pass an integer value into a float, and the integer value will be converted as a float value in Python. Now let's consider the same example, and let's pass the float value into an integer. So here you can see, as you just run this, you will get the error. This means that unknown format code D for the object of type float. From this, we can easily conclude that an integer can be provided in place of float, but the float cannot be provided in place of integer. Okay, so now let me just comment this, and let's move on to the other one. That is, we can find the length of the value after the decimal point can be controlled. Like we can just say the example. Let's say, yeah, let me use the same itself, and let's provide the marks over here. And here you can see I have scored these much percentage of mark in English. So let me run the file over here. So as I run this, here you can see, the rest of the values is just rounded and treated over here. Now I just need to only take one of the decimal point over here. So if I just need to get that, I can pass the digit that just need to be taken from here. So here, let me now run the file. So in order to do so, we also just need to consider like colon, then put a dot over here so that one value will be taken after the point. So let me run this, and here you can see I have scored 55.7% of mark in English. Now when you just change this into 3, you can see the result over here now will be changing as 55.668 will be taken, because the length of the value after the decimal point can be controlled. Now providing a string in place of a float will be resulting in an error. So let's check an example for this. Use the print function, and here you can provide the same example itself. So let me use the same print function and let me change the value that given over here into a string. So you can change this as a string, and yeah, let me change this into, let it be a float, or you can set it as a string and all. So let's run this. So here you can see we have got the error over here, like unknown format code F for the object str, and let's say it as D, and still here we have got the error. And now let me change this into S, and here you can see as you just pass the string itself, you can just get everything right over here. But when you just try to give the float or integer by passing the strings, you will get an error over there. And the final method is using the f string, that is used to format a string. And here I have provided the syntax. Now let's go with an example and let's consider the above example, which is company and city itself. So let me copy this and let's place it over here. Okay, and let's see how can we just manage the string formatting for f strings or using the f strings. So we can just use the print function, and either you can just use a capital letter or a small letter. So after using capital letter or small letter, you can use the single quotes or double quotes. So let me use the double quotes over here. And later on, what you have to do is you can pass the statement, that is company name is, and you can just use the curly braces and use the variable name, that is company. And you can see that city is, then pass the variable, that is city. Afterwards, just you can run the file, and here you will get the result by the string formatting. Now let me just again copy this, and yeah, let's set the F as capital F, and let me change the single quotes, double quotes into single quotes, and here we go with the string formatting. So either of any of two, you can just use the way to manage with the string formatting. So we have already discussed that there are different ways by which we can just manage with the string formatting in Python. That is using of the percentage formatting, that is the oldest method, or using of the format function, or using of the f string. So I hope this video clarifies how to manage the string formatting in Python. And that's all for today. Thank you for watching the video.